Hey guys, here's the gear for today. It's been a month after austere August. I pretty much didn't shave all of September, and and so I just finished using clippers to take down my beard. We're going to use this Karve with a B solid bar plate. It's the brass Karve Christopher Bradley razor, and we're going to put a feather in it that's fairly new. About 8 uses on it already. And Ronnie was kind enough to send me a sample of Captain's Choice 45th Parallel and a Bear Stern Man sample as well when I purchased some things off of the Shave Bazaar from him, and he's a viewer as well, so that's really cool. I bought some stainless steel plates, base plates for my Karve Christopher Bradley that's in that particular metal, and that's really cool. I look forward. I can't find my stainless steel Karve right now, but hopefully I will soon and be able to use those. But they're going to behave exactly like my brass version, and so I mean it's not going to be anything eye-opening. This is my favorite razor. If I had to pick one to take with me on an extended trip or to have for the rest of my life, the base plates that are offered with this guy just there are such gradual changes that I can use a wide variety of them, and everywhere from the AA all the way up to the D give me terrific shaves with varying levels of smoothness in terms of the way it feels. And so I'm really happy with this brand. I've kind of been with them from the beginning when they, Canadian company, when they first started coming out. So this is Captain's Choice. It's not a brand that you see on my channel very much. And I think the 45th Parallel was designed to be one that was that almond type cella, marzipan type scent, right? I can't remember for sure. It is a fairly soft crope. It's not one of the newer bases. It's the reason you don't see it on my channel too much is because it's kind of a more the old school base, like the LA Shaving Soap Company or the OG Chiseled Face, where it just doesn't, it's hard for me to make those two lines intersect in a good place, where wanting it to be creamy but also wanting it to be really hydrated. If I make it really creamy, then it's a little too dry for me and doesn't give me the slickness and the performance that I want. If I hydrate it enough to get the performance that I want, then it's not really a lightly creamy, luxurious type base. As a matter of fact, it's almost hard to keep it from kind of falling apart. But let's give this guy a shot, especially we'll do a slurry lather with it and see if, because I haven't done, as far as I know, a slurry lather with the Captain's Choice base. It's been around for a while. I understand that the Captain's Choice guy is a pretty good guy, so this is no comment on his character or anything like that. It's just the formulation that he happens to make is not one that I gravitate towards. So I use the back of my thumbnail to scoop out some a little bit more than an almond's amount, and this is also how you can do samples, because obviously you can't load up with a brush from the sample tub here. I tell you what, one thing I do like these Captain's Choice sample containers here. They seal up nicely, and it's easy to get into them. The other ones that you'll see are kind of along this shape and kind of tall, and then while those are cool, I also like the Captain's Choice style. So I'm going to take my shaving lather bowl here, and I'm going to just press this sample into the bottom of that. If you want to take, and this is something that some people do, and take your entire sample, if you're the kind of person to use up an entire sample, I'm the kind of person to use it once, and if I don't like it, I'll just file it away somewhere. If I do like it a lot, I might order the full-size soap. But in most cases, I set it aside somewhere, either in my I like it pile or my don't like it bucket. And but other people like to run through them, and so you can take the entire sample if you want. But I wouldn't recommend pressing an entire sample into your bowl that you're going to be used for lathering if you do that. If you just use a bowl for loading, then do that. But as you're generating lather, you keep picking up more soap, and so there's a part in the lather bowl process where you don't want to add any more soap because you've got enough water in it. You just want to mix everything up together and make sure that it's all homogenized properly, and you've got the lather that you're wanting, you know. And so that's why I don't recommend those lather bowls that may look like a great bowl and they have an indentation in the bottom for a soap puck to go. And I think that that's a good loading bowl, but then most of the time those are big and have nubs to where they want you to make a lather out of it. And I guess if you like really thick lathers where you're really using up a lot of soap product, and you like dry lathers, then that's the way to go. You know, or maybe if you're using a slurry lather, it might be okay for that, perhaps. But I would use maybe a mug or something like that, or an old soap container that you've already emptied. I would press my sample in the bottom of that. So this is approximately maybe a shave's worth is what we're going for. Get some water on my face. And then I showed you the stuff. So what's left to do now is the Karve has a nice long bolt here, and so it takes a second to undo it. The feather is one that has a reputation for being sharp, sharper than average, and it, for me, that tracked as well. Some people like to fight against that. It's not sharper than any other blade. They're all super sharp. Well, that's true, but technically that's true. But I cut myself more on feather blades in the beginning of my journey than I did any other blade. And later on, I learned to use a feather because my technique had improved. My pressure, the angle I was using, all those things improved. And so then feather blades became a very enjoyable type razor blade. Some people say they can only do 3 uses on a feather, and that's all. And that probably speaks more to their technique than the blade itself. Maybe. So we've got that guy loaded up. This will be his 9th use. Oh, a post shave. I'm going to try something new. Stirling had a sale, and I grabbed up some. I've always wanted to try their Aloe and witch hazel aftershave product, and this is the Vetiver scent that they have. I also bought a sample of the Texas. This is the sample size of the Texas on Fire scent of the same witch hazel product. Other witch hazel products include Thayer's. Now these guys, yeah, they call it a facial toner. But many people think that this is pure witch hazel, and it's not. It's like Stirling, where it's more of an aloe type solution, and it's got witch hazel in it. Now this, however, it doesn't have any scent with it. This is just available at Dollar Tree or Walmart or something like that, and even it says witch hazel solution. If it's a pure witch hazel solution, then it is going to stink to high heaven, and so a pure witch hazel. And so I definitely prefer the what I've shown you here. That's more of has the aloe mixed in. Of course, that's good for your skin. All right. So after the shave, I'm going to use the Vetiver, and we'll see if how it smells and how it performs. I expect it to be great after the shave. Okay, so we are ready. The brush has been soaking now for maybe 15 minutes or 10 minutes or something like that. With the slurry method, we're not going to, I shouldn't have shaken out that water. Matter of fact, let me get it back in there and soak up some water. This guy does hold a lot of water. I'm just going to let gravity take away what it will. Maybe 1 or 2 shakes there. And then slurry lather method is with the lots of water in the brush. Come at the soap for your loading. Depends on whether you've used the soap in a while as to how long it takes to to go, but as soon as you have a lather that, like a slurry, it can be all wet and bubbly like that. You just go right to your face with it. So that's what I'm going to do. Now this, because I worked in the bowl for a second, is bubbling up right away. That's good. Sometimes the slurry method causes it to take a minute to bubble up. My face doesn't know what to think. I'm going to dab the brush in here a little bit more because I'm battling the oils on my skin that haven't been shaven in a while. Okay. So thanks, Ronnie, for this sample. The Barrister and Mann sample he sent me is one that Le Grand Chypre. And Chypres are a category or a genre, a type of scent that some people really like. I think I like them okay. There's some that I like better than others. And it has a few criteria with it. Like I think labdanum and like some green scents in there. It's got some guidelines if you really want it to be a true Chypre. It's kind of an unwritten guideline. It's nothing. It's not like a champagne, which has to be from a certain region of France, you know, or it's not technically champagne. All right, that's the first pass. So I shaved with, you know, my old blade for all of August, and I'm used to still feeling a good bit of stubble after the first pass, but no, that feather took it out. A new blade. So let's get a little bit more. And already we have graduated to more than a slurry here. And because of my stubble, which probably, even after using the clippers, was equivalent to a couple of days of growth, I wasn't able to feel the slickness, but now I should be able to kind of ascertain. That's moving along nicely. One of the reasons I wanted to try Captain's Choice was because the soap was Chiseled Face, the original, that I kind of discovered the difference in slickness that this slurry method gives me. And it was because normally I don't get that same slickness from that base. And wham, all of a sudden I was getting this performance that was very surprising. It was just a couple of degrees better, noticeably better than whenever I make a mature lather. And since I think this soap base is kind of along that same type of formulation, I was kind of thinking, I wonder if the same thing will happen. I wonder if this slurry method is going to give me, I'm just going to add a touch more water to the bowl there. I wonder if this base is going to be the same and give me a better lather than a better shaving experience than I usually get with Captain's Choice. Now we're getting more to a mature lather. Still quite hydrated, as you can see. Some of it just drop right off. But this is a good performing type lather and very hydrated. And the feather should definitely be Just doing cleanup right now. A few little stray hairs might be remaining. The scent here is not very strong. I think with this brand, if you like the old school type of crope that was made, 10 years ago, I don't think this has as many skin nourishing bits like the newer bases from Barrister and Mann and Declaration Grooming and Seaforth and a lot of other people. But this might fit your lathering style. It doesn't really fit mine unless I'm doing the slurry lather, because right now, very slick feeling even after that pass. I've got this great residual slickness right here on my face. So this is another soap that is amplified and really made usable by me, at least, with the slurry method. So chisel face, the old tallow version that they've been putting out for a while. That is just is the other one that's so different between normal lather versus slurry lather. Other bases like Stirling and Barrister and Mann and those guys, the slickness I'm getting seems to be pretty much the same, whether I make a mature lather or not, because those soaps are able to take that hydration and keep using it in the soap and stay lightly creamy while being so hydrated. All right, well, good. I'm used to, in August, I had 5 passes that I was having to work with, and I'm done now, so that is a different kind of experience. So let me get a good rinse and clean out my bowl, and in a minute we'll put on that and try that witch hazel. So we have aftershave balms like this from Barrister and Mann. The Stirling balms for a long time came in this type of container, and it's basically what Americans would consider a lotion, and it's just kind of specially made for your face after the shave to help you heal and to recover from the shaving process to help your skin. And so you can do that after the shave, and like this one it's scented, and it'll last for a couple hours usually, depending on the scent. And after that, you can also use if you don't want to use balms, balms are great for sensitive skin people, dry skin. People who have dry skin naturally almost certainly want to gravitate toward a good quality balm, because it's going to restore that moisture to your skin. You're not going to want to go with an alcohol-based splash like the Clubman series, Old Spice, and the more modern ones, like Fine. I've got Fine Platinum right here. Declaration Grooming makes aftershave splashes as well. Some of those are going to have different levels of skin goodies with them. The Fine Accoutrements one, virtually no skin goodies, I don't think. Stirling does have glycerin and some other skin healthy things. We've got Summer Break has the History 101, and they have witch hazel and aloe vera, and so they've got some skin food in theirs. But that alcohol may be too harsh for some people's skin, and if you don't want to go with a full balm, like in the summer it could be a little bit too heavy perhaps, then a solution, witch hazel solution, like the Stirling here. Another one that I really like is, it's got this great vintage vibe, but it performs really well too, is Lucky Tiger. And so let's try out the Stirling here, and it comes out in a very thin, milky type lotion. I couldn't show it to you because it started going everywhere. Now Vetiver, I thought might be a good one to choose, but they didn't have a lot of their scents in the witch hazel category, and I believe that's because the witch hazel has a scent of its own, and it's not going to be compatible with everything, especially the sweeter things. And this is a good skin product, so I'm just going to kind of put that to get it off my hands and in other places, not to waste it. But so that's why you're not going to get all the different possible scents from Stirling available in the Witch Hazel, I believe. It could also be popularity. They may not have a ton of people ordering the Witch Hazel product. The Thayer's has a larger bottle, a taller bottle, and I think the price compared pretty closely with the Stirling. And so if you, now this is lavender, and this is really nice because it's very light. It goes with a bunch of different scents that you might have, and so it's a very complementary type product, type scent. Now the Vetiver is kind of strong, but there are lots of scents that have a part of that blend be Vetiver. And so I thought this might, it's very woodsy, definitely kind of manly, woodsy, grassy, that kind of type of scent. And so I like it. It's definitely going to pair with any kind of woodsy product. It's quite strong right now. Will it last as long as a splash or a balm? You know, that is maybe a couple hours. Well, we'll just have to see. And I'll try to report in on that. If somebody remembers, feel free to drop a comment and I'll try to answer that. And then I'll put it in the description for other people to see. So there we go. That is quite strong. So that particular Witch Hazel product is probably going to overwhelm about any soap that you might have used during the shave. So that's a choice you would make. If you put on a more subtle soap with your brush and you use that during the shave and you want that to linger, I would not choose a product like this, this particular scent. They did have unscented with at the Stirling website, so you could obviously go with that to prevent any clashes. Brush has been cleaned off. Razor has been rinsed. I didn't even quite use up all of the soap. You can see there's a little bit left in the bottom. And so that is how to do a slurry lather, basically, from a sample using a bowl. And that is also proof that the Captain's Choice does really well. Perhaps even the best lather that it makes for me is with a slurry lather method. So there we go. It's good to be back with you guys. I think somebody checked in on me on a comment and said, "Hey, you doing all right?" I was just taking we're selling our house and different things like that. So life is really busy right now. And so that's it. I've just been really busy and just relaxing when I'm not going crazy. So there we go. That is it. Anything else to cover? What does it do to your skin? It's a little, not really sticky, but a little tacky. But it's going to absorb. That's the aloe and glycerin probably. Let's read to you the directions. Apply it to clean face as you would a splash or with a cotton pad. Shake well before each use. Topical use only. And with the salt block. What is that called? I never use it, so it's not in my brain right now. Well, it'll come to me in a second. It's that salt block that you use to kind of get wet and rub all over your face, and it is a little bit antiseptic, and it also they say it closes your pores and all that, but I don't know that it does that. And it stings if you've had a bad shave, but to me, I already know if I've had a bad shave, so I never use that kind of thing. And it's an astringent, and with that, you have to wash it off because it's a salt, and it'll really dry your face out if you don't. With Witch Hazel, you do not have to rinse off the product itself. I feel like a big dummy not being able to remember that salt product that a lot of people use. It's one of those that it's kind of a myth when you watch maybe Geo Fat Boy and some other kind of older shavers, they always use that alum block. They always use that alum block to tell you that that's what you should do when you shave, to tell how your shave has been, that sort of thing. But to me, it has no real benefit. Anything that it does that's a good thing can be done by other things during the shave, or I can just tell that I had some irritation, here and here during my shave, and so I don't need the alum block to sting and be uncomfortable to tell me that. And so a lot of people, new shavers, watch those older videos and they think that they need to buy an alum block. I've had the same one for